Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the up and down trend marker indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched our first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. At the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. And as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down below. You can also find a link to sign up for TradingView down below. If you use the link below, you will save a little bit of money. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. Discord is a free group communication platform. On our Discord server, we are having great conversations about all things regarding trading. One of the biggest struggles on this channel is people who use other platforms like MT4 being able to follow along. Sometimes it can be hard to find the indicators we are using on other platforms. And so on our Discord server, I have created a channel for indicator creation. And on that channel, I pinned links to freelancers who can code indicators for MT or for TradingView. So if you don't want to create a TradingView account, you can hire a freelancer for a really small fee and have them code an indicator for the MT platform. Or if you are on TradingView and need an indicator created, something unique or an indicator for a system you have developed, you can also have them code PineScript. So use the link for either MT4 coding or use the link for PineScript. Lastly, I get a lot of people that are asking me for the entire list of all the winning indicators that we have tested to date. And whereas I am not a big proponent of gatekeeping information, I've put a lot of time and effort into creating the content on my YouTube channel. And so I don't think it is too much to ask for the viewers to go through and view the content that I've spent a lot of time creating. Now, if you are not interested in supporting our channel by going back and watching the content that I have created, then I have developed a solution for you. I've created a Patreon account. I will put a link to it down below in the description. If you sign up for Patreon and you sign up for the $9 a month account, I will send you the full list of tested and winning indicators to date. I will also send you an updated list of the indicators that we are testing at the end of each week. Now, of course, you have to stay subscribed to the $9 subscription, monthly subscription, to continue to receive the updated list of indicators. But that way it will provide me with the support that I need to continue to provide the free content that I am putting out for everybody to view. Now, if you just love the channel in general and want to support us, then there is also a lower, I think $3 Patreon subscription that you can sign up for that will also help support the channel and keep things going, so that way I can continue to produce the content and the open information that we are creating here in this channel and in our Discord server. Again, if you have not signed up for our Discord, then you need to do that as well. It is a absolutely free platform where we have real-time ability to chat and have conversations about trading. And again, if you want to support the channel with Patreon, then you can find the link down below in the description. Alright, as I said, today we will be testing the up and down trend marker indicator. But before we do, I wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 146 indicators. And out of those 146 indicators, 61 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 61 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back and watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, so as I said, today's indicator is the up and down trend marker indicator. It's not a whole lot to this one. We have markers, red markers, and green markers. When we get a green marker, that is a signal to go long. When we get a red marker, that is a signal to go short. So pretty simple. Like I said, not a whole lot to it. And so that is basically how we will be testing the indicator today. All right, let's get on with the testing process here. Let's take a look at price action because I have a feeling that this indicator is not going to give us very many signals, just from what I can tell kind of looking back on things. So let's take a look at price action. So we've had a strong push to the upside here. We've had multiple steps up, 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 up. Looks like price action is starting to slow down. You can tell price action starting to slow down because you're having red candles that are pulling back farther than any other instance of a pullback throughout this entire cycle. And so you have a sharp decline right here. You can see that we're picking up quite a few wicks to the upside as well. Those are all kind of indications that this particular trend is starting to weaken and could be rolling over to the downside. Now, sometimes it'll spike up, it'll roll over, and it will just nosedive straight down. Those are kind of the hardest ones to trade because it happens so fast that it's really hard to catch it. And really, if you look at this move here, even though you can see price action seems to be weakening here, taking a trade just off of this little structure of price action right here is super dangerous. There is not a whole lot of confirmation to price action truly reversing at this point. I mean, we can give an educated guess, but even at that, there's every bit of possibility that it could stumble here just for a second and then spike right back out. And so generally at this point, what we're looking for is some kind of price action pattern. Of course, when we're looking at just price action alone, that's completely different. Of course, we would like to have indicators that would also confirm what is happening here, as well as a price action pattern that sets up that also looks really good. So let's play it out here just a little bit and see what happens. Price pretty much nosedived right out of there. And again, those are kind of the hardest ones to trade right there because there is, not a whole lot of confirmation in such a strong pullback so quick. And so when that happens, you kind of just have to, sit on your hands, sit on the sidelines, don't get FOMO, and just let it go without you. All right, so now it is bouncing along this area right here. not a whole lot you can judge from this. It does look like they're wanting to push it to the downside, but it's also possible they could spike it for another run to the upside at this point. But it's kind of a 50-50 chance at this point. Let's see what happens. Let's just kind of play it out here, watching for our indicator to give us any kind of a signal. There's a short signal from our indicator, so we'll keep an eye on that for just a second. First signal, and it was a losing trade. Didn't work out very well. So they spiked it to the downside here for a second. They really didn't give it a lot of momentum to the downside. So it's now recoiling back up here. And again, price action like this is really just some of the most challenging to read because without indicators giving us some kind of idea of what's happening, even with indicators, a choppy market like this is super hard to get a grasp on what exactly the market makers are going to do here. So they finally spiked it to the downside a little bit more there, and a little bit more. At this point, we've had pretty significant push to the downside. And anytime you get an extended push one direction or another, you can start to look for signs of that move weakening. It's what we did over here. This wasn't as clean because we had this slight push down, then jump back up, then another push down here. But if we just look at this one alone, we can see that it had one good push, two good push, kind of stalled out, and now a third one kind of pushing down here. And so we can kind of start to look for some kind of price action confirmation here. We can also see that it's made almost a 100% move back to where it was. Came up and then pushed almost exactly back down to where it was. It's also a pretty good thing to watch because obviously there was some resistance or support happening in this area, as that's what created the price action back here. So now that price is pushing down into that area, it's a relatively safe bet that price action is going to have some kind of reaction to this level. Not quite sure what, but something. So let's kind of watch it out here. Now you can see here's an example of price action starting to show more signs of weakness. I mean, it did it up here, but not quite as valid because it hadn't pushed so far down. We're at the end of an extended push to the downside here, and it's starting to push itself up, creating higher highs and higher lows. Now again, that's not to say that it's going to jump right up. Don't mistake that. Just we're, at this point, just kind of watching what price action is doing. And there we go. We have a pretty good confirmation right there that we're going to start to get a push, at least a small one to the upside now. And that's because we're at the end of an extended push downward. We've had at least 1, 2, 3 moves to the downside. It's not always in threes, but we're looking for at least 3 out of it to get a really good kind of confirmation. Again, when you're looking at trading price action, the best thing you can do is set conditional type setups. And so in this case, I would say something like I have to have at least 3 moves to the downside, or 3 moves in 3 cycles within the move, I guess I should say. And so that happened again. We have a push down here, and a slight pullback. It's a pretty heavy pullback, but still push down, a pullback. That's a cycle. Push down. I would consider this kind of a pullback. It's not really a super clean one, but we'll say one push down, a pullback, two push down, a pullback, three push down, a pullback, and then one more push to the downside here and a super strong engulfing candle. So the condition would say I need at least 3 cycles in this whole move from top to bottom, and we have that. And then we could say it needs to be at some kind of significant level of support and resistance in the near past. Well, we have that back here in this area where it had reaction to this zone here. And then you could say that you're looking for some kind of candlestick formation to confirm that a significant reversal is, possible. And so that would be this engulfing candle right here. You see that when it made this push right here, it barely made a new low, and then it kind of rolled over or rolled under here and then spiked this big engulfing candle right here. Those are all really good signs that we are going to get a push to the upside. We don't know how far, but at least for just a little bit, enough to get a trade out. And if we used our 70 pip take profit and the 105 stop, then we have a target to base our move off of that we could then set. And so at this point, that's only 3 conditions that we have set. You can set, how many ever conditions you feel are necessary and have back tested and have developed into a full strategy. So at this point, let's play it forward and see what happens. Again, there's no guarantee that this thing is going to go up. We're just looking at the market, taking the best educated guess we can with all the conditions that we have seen, and we're making an educated guess. Could it reverse and spike down? Absolutely. There's no guarantee that this thing is going up. But at this point, we have a relatively strong bias that this can at least make it up 70 pips. So let's see what happens. It's tinkering around there, tinkering around, and there it goes. Finally takes off. We would have been on this candle right here is the one we would have entered on. I want to make that yellow so we don't get it confused with our indicator that we're testing. So we would have entered on that candle, the close of that candle right there. So we would have been in right here, came down for 80 pips against us at the max, and then it shot up 256 pips. And so this is the advantage of being able to read price action and understand what the market is trying to tell you with price action. Should you base your entire strategy around just price action? In my opinion, no. I know that there are people who do, and that's great. If you can do it, then absolutely. But I personally believe that a few indicators thrown in the mix to really help you maximize your ability to read the market will make a world of a difference. All right, so let's play it forward here a little bit. See if we can. Hey, there's a signal. There's a trade signal from our indicator. I was wondering if it was ever going to throw us a signal. And that one was a winner. So not too horrible. Moving along here, and things to keep an eye out for is areas, the areas that are most recent support and resistance. And so basically what you're looking for is price action that has made multiple touches at that level. And so here is an example where it came up It made multiple touches right there, and it was very recent. And so we can see that price action almost got there on this one. Keep in mind that these areas are zones and not hard line, set lines in the sand that price action is exactly going to hit that point before it reacts. And so, but it is always good to just kind of have the most recent areas kind of mapped out. And it looks like this area, it came up there and it came up here, had reaction to both those areas. We're going to the upside right now, which is why we're kind of looking at these areas right now and nothing else, because price action is moving up into kind of three relatively fresh zones of resistance to the upside. Let's play it forward and see what it does. It's breaking through those. Now it's starting to reject that area. It's pulled up, hit those a few times. We've had a strong push to the upside, and quite a few cycles have taken place. It's punched up here into an area of very recent support and resistance, and is now looking like it is rejecting it as it rolls up and over and then spikes down right here with this candle. And so at this point, again, if we were trading our three conditions, then we could say that that we have another entry right here. And so we have at least 3 cycles of a push to the upside and overextension. We have price action up here in an area of support and resistance, and it is showing signs that it's weakening and is now rolling over. And so let's play it forward and see what it does. And there you go. We got a decent little push to the downside. We'd have been on this big bar right here. And let's try that again. Got me all messed up because, and that as of right now is at 142 pips at its lowest point. So we would have definitely got our 70 pip take profit, and even more potentially depending on what this thing does. All right, pushing. Looks like it's going to make another move to the upside. Looks like it is trying to break out, but often they'll spike it right above highs and then turn around and run it in the opposite direction. It's not a whole lot of confirmation at this point as to where it's going to go. These are just observations we're making as we're looking. And there's a pretty good move to the downside. It's again kind of a classic. They spike it up above these highs. They draw in a whole bunch of people to the upside who are going long for a breakout. And then they like to spike it down back through the lows, taking out people's stops. Now, at this point in this price action, we saw it start to try to roll over right here. But the thing is, we have not had a really clear defined push of cycles within this move. And so those are the ones you want to be leery of, because you could very well prematurely be jumping into a heavy trend. And so these little slight pullbacks here, like one red candle pullbacks, I don't consider a cycle. I might consider this one right here one cycle. This was not a cycle. I consider that a small trend to the downside. And so you had a small push up, small trend down, a push up, one cycle down for a pullback, and then a push back up. And so anytime you get price action that happens like this, you definitely have to be very cautious. All right, there is another signal to the downside. That one definitely got us to take profit. And that puts us at the end of the year. And so 3 signals, 2 winners. That puts us at the 60% win rate, but just not enough signals for us to really trade that in 1 year's time. And so it did all right, but it'll go on the yes list. But again, anytime we get an indicator that has so few signals like this, um, it's unlikely it's going to work out in any kind of a trading system unless you start working down to lower time frames. So not a bad indicator all in all. Did all right. Not really enough signals to get a clear picture of how well it can do over a long period of time. But once again, it'll go on the yes list, and we'll move on to the next indicator from here.
If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, all right, everybody, I will see you on the next video.